We see them in nature, in our culture, in our art. We see them everywhere around us. The ubiquity of circular engineered products suggests this appeal towards the circle. Let us understand our psychological and evolutionary inclination towards this shape. Circles, as a basic shape, have always enchanted the human mind. Many mathematicians and philosophers consider it to be the most perfect of all geometric shapes, while theologians feel it supernatural or divine. Throughout different cultures, it has been used to represent unity, almighty, safety, totality, and infinity. In India, for instance, the manifestations of the circle range from the chakras and yantras in tantric paintings to the simple bindis on the foreheads of the women folk found in the paintings of Bharti Kher or Jamini Roy. In Chinese art, the circle often represents the union between heaven and earth. In Western art, the halo behind holy figures mimics the circular shape of the sun, as if associating them with the same power. The more we see, we realize that the numerous cultural layers we have added to history are ultimately rooted in our own evolutionary inclination. We are innately more comfortable around round, curved shapes. Studies have found that viewing objects with sharp edges activates a part of the brain that processes fear. Since sharp objects like thorns of plants, claws, knives, or teeth of a tiger suggest physical danger, we have now evolved to see all sharp lines and corners as threatening. Curvature, on the other hand, implies a lack of threat. It implies safety. So, our comfortability and preference in using rounded curves shape the products which would be held by our hands to be designed accordingly. Like coins, for example. Round coins are also easy to use. It is easy to pick up round coins, put them into tightly packed bags without any worry of corners poking your fingers. We can also stack up the coins and wrap them up in rolls without worrying about any corners tearing at the package. A historical reason for the roundness is that a lot of coins were made by pressing down a small ingot with a pre-made stamp. This process typically forces the metal into a rounded shape anyway, which means less work to finish the coin. Even at places where the corners cannot physically touch or harm us, circles are used to represent friendliness and safety. They evoke feelings of sensuality and affection and are warm and comforting. In web design, circles are widely used as little icons. Because they are simple yet incredibly powerful graphic elements that comfort viewers, they are one of the most popular shapes employed by designers. They also have a whimsical character that makes us think of young children. Apart from an evolutionary inclination, circles have a lot of practical advantages as well. As the curve of the circle naturally converges towards the center, we are drawn towards its center more than any other shape. When we compare and contrast the psychological effects that a square and circle can have on the mind, we can understand it better. We are drawn to squares because they have four sides and four distinct corners, which draw our attention right away. A circle, on the other hand, is renowned for its individuality. This natural focus to the center of the circle is useful in guiding our eye to where we want it to be, say in a logo, which is why the most popular shape in the media and advertising sectors is reportedly the circle. The majority of logos are incorporated into round or oval designs, or in a photo, in a stadium where the audience is always facing the main event. The definition of circle is given by all its points being equidistant from the center, giving us the least area possible with a set of points. This property explains all things round in nature, from bubbles to planets. This is also the sole reason that gave rise to the greatest invention of mankind, the wheel. We all know how critical the wheel is in our lives, from getting us around places to telling us the time. The wheel has made our life incredibly simple. Apart from rolling things, the fact that points are equidistant also makes sure that things are distributed evenly. Be it the pressure inside a balloon, or air when you blow into molten glass, a ripple in water, or simply a pizza. This principle is also used in one of the most well-known applications of circles in architecture, the dome. The dome is a powerful symbol of strength and authority. Its circular shape represents the unending nature of power. For centuries, domes have been associated with the most powerful institutions in the world, from the Vatican to the Rashtrapati Bhavan. A dome-shaped room will reflect light evenly throughout, whereas a room with a different shaped ceiling we will have areas that are brighter or darker. This even distribution of light is one of the reasons why domes are often used for religious purposes, such as in mosques or churches. Another architectural concept where circles are prominent is the Roman arch. The vast aqueducts and dome shaped ceilings of the Roman Empire were supported by arches made of wedge shaped masonry. Compared to horizontal support beams and vertical posts, these arches could sustain more weight. For this reason, arches are still often used in construction today. So, even from an engineering perspective, corners are bad. They are literal centers for stress. They are more prone to fracture and break, and hence, for large buildings and heavy structures, circular columns or pillars are required as they distribute the stress evenly. This has been used since the Greek ages. In the famous Parthenon, the temple to the goddess Athena on the Acropolis in Athens is referred to by many as the pinnacle of ancient Greek architecture. The remains of the giant columns of this magnificent building are still seen. You can also see them supporting big buildings such as malls, metro rails, and bridges. Their aerodynamic nature also reduces drag by wind significantly. And no corners also mean they use less area, which means less material used, making them more efficient. Circular houses have about 28% less wall area than rectangular ones with the same living space. This means fewer wall materials are needed and lower utility bills too. Wind and tsunami waves move naturally around a round building rather than getting caught and potentially ripping off. And a rounded roof avoids air bending, a situation where a strong wind lifts the roof structure up and off the building. Our very own Parliament House, inspired by Chaucer's Yogini Temple at Tauri, the famous Apple Park, are great examples. Roundabouts are one of the most efficient transportation designs. They reduce the chaos of a cross section to such an extent that many don't need traffic lights. Less idling reduces vehicle emissions and fuel consumption. I mean, we could go on and on about how resourceful the circle is. So take a moment to appreciate this wonderful simplicity that made our lives a lot more easy.